Hello, everybody. It's Sharon. And of course, this is Davis Minty Talks. Now, again, it has been quite some time since I've talked to you guys, but I'm here today. I'm here now. Now, because of COVID, I have not been able to set up anything um, with an actual guest. Now, if there are any of you out there who know how to allow me to record myself and then have somebody else record themselves and then kind of mesh it together as one recording and put that out, please be my guest. Let me know. I'm not quite sure how to do that. But today, and maybe for a little while, every now and then I'll shoot a video out just talking to you guys. Because right now, that's really all I can do is talk to you. Um, which kind of fits the name of my program, which is Davis Mincy Talk. So, and my name is Sharon Davis Mincy. So, I'm going to talk to you guys. Um, right now, I am going to be playing around with some makeup while I talk to you guys. I haven't really worn any makeup in a long time, and I have a lot of like little samples and stuff. This is I'm not a beauty blogger or anything like that. This is some blush, and I have some different foundations. Of course, this one looks a little bit more like my skin. This one's a little bit darker. I do like to mix them sometimes. I also have these, which is kind of the same thing. This one's a little bit darker, and this one's a little bit brighter. So these I have never tried yet. These two I have tried. This one actually came open in a pocketbook that I had, and a lot of it's filled out because I only used it once. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to talk to you guys about what's going on with me lately and my family. Just recently, as of in the past couple days, it was brought to my attention that my intelligent, gorgeous son is failing in almost every class that he's in. I will say that this is a first. Never experienced this with him before. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt when I say that some of this has to do with the virtual learning and the fact that he's here all the time, all day. I think it's kind of messing with him, making him a little bit depressed, making him distracted, and it's just giving him a little bit of a hard time, a lot of a hard time. And I am talking to these teachers, you guys, and they're calling me, and they're like, well, Gary's doing this, and Gary hasn't done that. Well, they're not saying he's doing this, but they're saying he hasn't done this, and this is happening, and that's happening. And I'm like, look, okay, I've done pretty much everything that I could possibly think of to do. I have taken video games, I have taken telephone, I have stripped him down to nothing but his room. And that didn't work. And I did that last market period. And we're going into the next market period, and you're telling me that, it hasn't gotten better, it's gotten worse. My son is too old and too big for me trying to whip his ass, okay? He's like 6 foot tall. He weighs about 200 plus pounds. Now, don't get me wrong. I'm not saying that I'm scared of my son. And if I had to put my foot in his ass because he did something to me that made me feel threatened, like I had to come at him, don't think that I wouldn't, because I would. And he knows that I would too. But that's not what I'm talking about. Like, I can't beat him because he got a bad grade in school. Those days are over. They've been over for quite a few years now. For about at least 4 years, 5 years. So I have to find a different approach. And his dad and I have tried different things and taken his game and taken his phone and all that kind of stuff. It didn't really work. It didn't work. So I realized that after me talking to him and talking to him and drilling him and grilling him and trying to actually have conversations with him and allow him to express how he feels. Yes, I said allow him to express. Now, when I say allow him to express, that doesn't mean I allow him to curse at me. That doesn't mean that I allow him to disrespect me or disrespect his father or anything like that. When I say express yourself, I mean asking him, what is it that you need? How can I help you? How can your dad help you? What is it that you might need from the teachers at school? And listening to what he thinks and what he feels. How are you feeling, during this time? And he's actually told me that, he's been feeling a little bit depressed. And I can honestly say that I understand, because some days I feel a little depressed. I'm like that lady on the commercial. I think it's Bipolar 1, where the lady has like these fits where she's crying 1 minute, and then the next minute she's making 50,000 ham sandwiches, and then the next minute after that she's asleep, and then the next minute after that she's arguing, yelling with somebody. Mania. I think that's what they call it. I think I have bouts of mania, because there are some days where I cry, and then maybe 2 or 3 hours later, or maybe the next day, I'm like pulling everything out the closet, putting everything back in, dusting, scrubbing the floors, the walls, everything. So I get that, he may be having he may be under some emotional distress. And my son is very intelligent, and he is very mature for his age. He's an old soul. He's used to being around adults. He's the only child. So he definitely knows how to speak what he's feeling, what he's thinking, what he's going through. So that's what I mean when I say I allow him to express himself, because I know us black parents, we'd be like, what? You're not, what? It's what I say. It's what I tell you to do. Yeah, that worked on me. And it probably worked on everybody before me in some form or fashion, because my mom and dad didn't play that, it wasn't no explaining yourself or anything like that. It was what it was. And my brothers and I have all had rough times. My brother Lamont, I would have to say, probably had it the roughest. God rest his soul. But just because my parents did that did not mean that he made the best choices and decisions, because he didn't. Because when he died, he didn't have a penny to his name. He did not have a place to stay that was his own, that was home for him. He was addicted to drugs. So just because you lay down the law and you tell your kids it's going to be this way, and that's just the way it's going to be, and you're going to do this, and that does not always work with every child. Especially when you yourself have not grown to a space where you understand why you do with the things that you do and what the hell it is that you're doing. But with that being said, I think that he had a revelation today. He actually, and I'm going to start putting on his makeup because my birthday is in less than 2 weeks. It's on the 7th of December. And I was thinking about doing a photo shoot for myself. And I wanted to kind of figure out what kind of look I wanted and where I wanted to go with my makeup. So this is a makeup foundation brush, you guys. And I really think that this is a little dark. Let's see, it's a little orangey. But it looks pretty good on the camera. But in the mirror, you guys, it looks a little red. I'm feeling a little Indianish. Which is nothing wrong with being Indian. I think Indians have beautiful complexions. Oh, I forgot to put on my foundation. Now people put on, my concealer, but I can put it over top. Some people do it different ways. I didn't put my primer on like I was supposed to, but it's okay. I actually brought the primer out here so that I could put it on here. This is one of the products that I get from Ipsy. And this is some eyeshadow that I'm going to be using. And it's a new mascara that I'm going to try. And these are all products that I get in my Ipsy bag. I don't know if I'm saying it right, but I think I am. But since I'm just, you know, playing around pretty much, I'm not going to really worry about it. I'm not going to make a big deal about it. And this is kind of how I put my makeup on. Now, back to talking about my son. I think he had a revelation today because I made him go through and show me everything that it was that he hasn't done that he needs to do. Because like I said earlier, I'm at the point where I'm like totally fed up with the calls from the teachers and I'm tired having to be on his case about everything every day. It's like, dude, this is for you. It's not for me. I've already graduated from high school. I've been taking college courses. Granted, I haven't graduated from college yet, but I will in due time. But what I can tell you guys is that I have been taking vocal lessons, which is something that I was doing heavily before I got pregnant with Gary, which of course was 16 years ago. Because I feel like I got a pretty decent voice. And if I would have continued, I might have really gotten somewhere. But I'm working on seeing where I can get now. Because who knows? I'm not worried about if I get a record deal or anything like that. But I would like to record myself and be able to have the opportunity to hear what I sound like in a recording and share it with other people that I know and that I love. To be honest, I allowed somebody that I cared about very much to convince me that I couldn't sing and that I couldn't do it and that I wouldn't make it. And I couldn't understand why this person did this. It was like my cousin Wayne, who was like my best friend. You know, he told me that, and it really hurt me, and it really fucked me up. It did something to me. It really did something to me. And because I couldn't figure out how and what I was going to do in order to get to where I wanted to be as far as singing was concerned, I gave up on it. I told God, I said, you know what, God, I'm tired of this. I don't want that desire to do that anymore. And like I said, I really couldn't believe that my cousin, whom I love and still love, God rest his soul. Because let me tell you, on another topic, in the past 13 years, I have lost 3 people that I love in the same way to gun violence. First, it was my cousin Dwayne. Then about 8 years later, 7 or 8 years later, it was my nephew Quadrice. And then just in February of this year was my brother, which was, or is, or was, I don't know how you put it now, which actually, my brother Lamont is my nephew Quadrice's father. So both the father and the son were murdered by gun violence. It's deep, y'all. That's another reason why, you know, I have been hard on my son. That's another reason why I do sit down and have conversations with him, because, you know, he's a black man in America and it's just not going to be easy for him. And during our conversation the other day, you know, I told him how I feel about, you know, the racism. And I was watching something on, I think it was HBO, and it had a lot of different African-American artists, and actors who were just portraying the things that have happened over the past centuries, um, as far as segregation and racism, classism. And they were basically, for the most part, talking about the black man, the black young man, the black boy, meaning the little boy, the sons, the grandsons, and the fathers and the uncles and the brothers and the grandfathers. And I was crying. He came into my room and he was like, is everything okay? And I'm like, well, I'm just watching this and it really hurts me. And it does, because I have a son and I worry about him. He drives now. He has a license. He has a job, so he has to go out into the world. And I worry about him. Now, granted, I pray to God that nothing physical ever happens to him in these situations. And I definitely pray to God that he makes it home every single day, that he lives a long, prosperous life, that he gets the opportunity to get married, first be successful in whatever it is he wants to do, get married, have children, watch them grow, watch his grandchildren come into the world, and so on and so forth. But it just seems like more and more now that our young men are not getting the opportunity to make it that far. And it just really hurt me, and it scares me, because my son has to go out into this world just like every other mother's son has to go out into this world. Black mothers, brown mothers. So I'm talking about the Latinos. I'm talking about the Mexicans, the Asians, the Indians, people of color. Anything that's not white. And granted, they have issues too. But this particular movie on HBO, it was an HBO movie, so I don't think it was a movie that came out in the theaters. I think it was a movie that came out specifically for HBO. And I was crying because it frightens me. It frightens me. And I feel these women's pain when they sit and talk about the death of their sons. I think one of the young men's name was Prince. And he was a Howard University student, and he was killed by a police officer. I have a bad memory, and I just watched this on like Saturday night, so forgive me. But yeah, I was crying. I was crying almost the whole time, because I could just imagine how I would feel if that was my son. And I just explained to him that even if he hasn't been touched by racism yet, he will. Someone will call him a nigger. Someone will call him a black monkey. And as much as I'm telling him this, when it happens, I'm sure that it's still going to be shocking. I remember, I call my son Negro, like, Negro, please. And one day, and he was about 7 years old, one day I said to him, nigger. And I was meaning to say nigga, but it came out nigger because I was just frustrated and getting on his case. And he said, Mom, you called me a nigger. And he didn't do it like in a mean way. He did it like in a way where he was crushed. Like I had definitely broken his spirit. And I stopped in the middle of my ranting and raving about him doing his homework and doing this and doing that. And I humbly apologized to my son. Humbly apologized to my son. Because I knew in that moment that he was definitely broken. I did that. Not a white man, not a white woman, or a person of another race. I did it, his own mother. So I felt bad, and I promised him that I would never, ever do that again. And I haven't. But I still do on occasionally call him Negro. But he understands that, and he's okay with that. But yeah, I do want him to succeed. But I do know that before he succeeds, or once he succeeds, or after he succeeded, that he's going to run into it. And even if it's not a situation where somebody outright calls him nigger, it may be a situation where he's overlooked for a job. Ooh, you see, I just turned the light on. You see that orange now, don't you? You see the orange now. I'm trying to figure out what light I look the best in. I want to say this one. Yeah, I think that one's the best. So, yeah, he will experience it, unfortunately. I remember the first time that I can remember somebody calling my grandfather a nigger. I had to be about maybe 15 years old. And I lived on Reed Street in Wilmington, which is on the west side of Wilmington. And across the street, there was this white Polish guy, I think. He was either Polish or Irish, one of them. And he was a police officer. I think he was retired at that time. He had 2 sons that were cool, you know. Anytime I seen them, they would speak. They were a little bit older than me. Like, they were graduating from high school, and I think one was already in college. And they would always speak to me when they would see me. So they were cool, but I remember in the front of our house, well, let me say this. Actually, it had snowed and we had like a blizzard, or it was a case where it had snowed several times, like within a week. And the man across the street, keep in mind, he lived across the street, came on our side of the street, and no, we didn't have a car, but it was still in front of where we lived, and he shoveled out a space. Now, of course, we didn't know this. We didn't see him do this. He doesn't live in our house or in front of our house. My grandfather was parked there because he came to visit. And this man, when we came outside and my grandfather was getting into the car, I think I'm gonna use this shadow, you guys. And I think I might use, and this shadow is by Naked Cosmetics. I actually bought that from Kohl's. And I think I'm gonna use some of this palette too, or platelet palette. I don't know how you say it. And this is from Butter London, and it's called Little London. So my grandpa's getting in the car. He's about to leave. And this man pulls up. And he's hooping and hollering, cussing. I cleaned out that spot. And why are you in my spot? And my grandfather was like, well, you know, first of all, this is where my grandchildren live. And second of all, I didn't know that you had cleared out the spot. And lastly, I'm getting in the car. I'm getting ready to go. You can have the spot. And I could see the transformation. You know, he was ready. This white man was ready to go in, because he was sick and tired of our black asses in his neighborhood, fucking it up, keeping stuff going. And excuse my French to those who don't curse. But he was ready for it. But when my grandfather was like, well, you know, I didn't know. This is where my family lives. And I'm leaving. It was nothing else he could really say. And because there was nothing else he could say, that's when he called my grandfather a nigger. Now, at that time, my grandfather was probably about 73 years old. So he was old enough to be his father, of course. But this man did not care at all. Okay, see, I done brought the facial moisturizer out here and not the primer, but that's okay, because I do have another container of primer that I'm going to use on my hand, even though I've already put my makeup on to kind of make it stay. See how well it stays anyway. And this is also one of the items that I have gotten from Etsy. I don't know if you can see that. It's from Smashbox. Now, I have bought this before at Sephora, and it costs about, I don't know, $38. for a larger tube, a full-size tube, I should say. So I'm just gonna put a little primer on, my eyes, because I do get deep creases in my eyes when I wear makeup. I really have not been wearing makeup. I probably haven't really worn makeup on a regular basis for almost 2 years. I've been going bare skinned. You know, I'm like Alicia Keys. Alicia Keys said that she has started to become addicted to makeup. And I feel like I was doing the same thing. I really was, because I couldn't go nowhere without my makeup on. And it was like all my clothes had makeup on it, all my coats, all my scarves. And being as though we're in COVID now, we wear masks. It would be on every mask that I had. I wore a mask I put makeup on my husband's birthday when we went out to dinner and everything. Wore the mask one time. First time I wore it. Forgot that I had makeup on. And took the mask off. It was makeup all on the inside of it. I know they have color stay makeup, but a lot of times the color stay makeup kind of makes my skin drier. Now, all my life my skin has been oily. But for the past 5 years, almost every season change, my skin gets dry, especially in here. And I get dry patches of skin. And I've never experienced that before. My skin has always been oily. I worked so hard to keep it from being oily. And now all of a sudden, it's dry. Okay, but with that being said, yeah, he called my grandfather a nigger, and I was mortified. And I was like, you didn't have to say that to my grandfather, and he didn't do anything to you, and my grandfather's leaving. And my grandfather was like, nope, go in the house. Go in the house. He did not want me to say anything to that man. And I was like, no, Pop, you know, I was really upset. Like, I wanted to go. Let's go. I mean, there was a time in my life, and some people might not believe it, that I fought a lot. Because I lived in a household where there was violence a lot. And any of you who know me, really know me, know that I have talked about this before. My father was abusive to my mother. So I know it, you know, anytime he got mad, that's what he did. So believe it or not, anytime I got mad or felt uncomfortable or felt insecure, that's what I did. I started fights with people. I got into fights with people because they were messing with me. But the last fight that I got into, I was 13 years old. I might have been, I think I was 13. I might have been 14. I don't remember, but it was the early teens. And I let another girl manipulate me into fighting. Somebody that maybe she had a problem with. You know, I was fairly new to the school, but this girl, I had known her from another school, and her nickname was Juicy. And so we were cool. So I was manipulated. Let's just say it how it is. I was manipulated into getting into a fight with this young lady that I really liked, and shouldn't have been getting into a fight with. So I hit her, and she hit me back, and it was on and popping. And I'm gonna tell you something, she almost whooped my ass. She really did. She almost whooped my ass. And I told her this years later, when we ran into each other later years in high school, and we were going to night school with each other. I was like, I'm really sorry that I did what I did. I let somebody manipulate me or talk me into doing that. I should have never did that. We were friends. And you almost whooped my ass. You really did. She really did. She didn't, but she almost did. I did bite her. I bit the shit out of her. She may still have the scars. I don't know. And I don't really care at this point because I have apologized to her. And she seems to have accepted my apology. And I ran into her years later, and she's friends with, you know, some of my family members. Or she was. I don't know if she still is. But that's not even any of my business. That's not even the point that I'm trying to make. The point that I'm trying to make is just that at that time in my life, I was very willing to get into a fight. It didn't matter if you were grown. It didn't matter if you were younger. It didn't matter if you were bigger than me. It didn't matter if you were a guy. You know, I just was. And after having that fight with her, I totally reverted from that. I avoided getting into fights. I let shit go. I let people say stuff and I let it roll off my back. And to some people who didn't know me prior to that point, they may have thought that I was weak or that I was a punk. And I wasn't. It was just that I had lived with the violence for so long. And I had came so close to getting hurt and then a bit embarrassed at the same time that I didn't want to put myself in that predicament anymore. And the only way that I was going to actually fight is if somebody put their hands on me or if somebody came to me like they were going to put their hands on me. And luckily, you know, that hasn't happened. I've had people say stuff. And sometimes I didn't say anything. And sometimes I did. So that was one of the times that I remember. I'm sure that there was another occasion, but that was the one that stuck out in my mind the most. And I just was kind of telling my son about that and just telling him, you know, that I just want him to be safe because believe it or not, while we were watching this movie on HBO, he seen the racist white people holding up their Confederate flags and their signs and calling, because they went back to like the march in Birmingham and they were showing the white people how the white police were beating up the black people, how the white people were standing on the sideline shouting at them. And he was like, oh, these people are really, you know, they're really upset. I said, no, baby, it's not that they're upset. It's that they hate. They literally hate black people. They literally hated black people. They were raised to hate black people. They felt like we were taking something away from them. They felt like we had no right to march in Birmingham so that we could vote and so that we could have equal rights. They felt like we weren't slaves anymore, so what the hell else do you want? Really? You want something that belongs to me? No. So they hated us. So I was explaining that to him, and yes, like I said earlier, I was crying, and I was just trying to get him to understand that that was revolved around hate. And I think he got the picture, but he left because he was like, okay, Mom, you know, you turning this into something else. Because he feels like I'm always turning everything into a life lesson. And I guess that's true. But that's how we teach our children. We let them know about the things that they don't know about or that they didn't know about so that they can have almost like a meter or a barometer that goes off when some of those same instances may be happening around them. And they can go back to, oh, you know what, I remember my mom saying a little something about something like this. Now, I don't have any contour right now, you guys. So, because I don't have any real contour, I am using some eyeshadow that is a lighter color, a nude color, and filling in some of them dark spots. As you can see, when I put it on, it kind of almost evaporates. Now, I know when they do professional photo shoots, usually they do your makeup. I've heard that that costs more. And I think I do my makeup pretty damn well, so I think I'm going to do it myself. So that's why I'm trying some new things. Now, a lot of people put their eyeshadow and stuff on before they put their makeup on. I like to put all of my foundation, all of my conceal on before I put my shadow on. That's just how I like to do it. Now, this is my makeup bag. I don't know if you can see it. I treated myself to this makeup bag. It's pretty big. I got it from Amazon. And this is just one area in the zipper part. This is very nice. It's heavy because I got quite a bit of stuff in here. Even if you can't really see it all, it's a lot in here. But I love it though. And this is another area where you can put more stuff at, where of course I do have more stuff in the zippers and in here. And there's another zipper area inside of there. I keep my brushes in here. And I think I'm going to use this brush, which also came from Kohl's. Kohl's has, I love their clearance. So I always go on to their clearance and buy stuff. And then of course I'm a member, Kohl's member. And I have Kohl's credit card, so I do a lot of spending with Kohl's. So this blush is just what I put on. It's kind of nude and kind of close to my own skin color, so I think I'm gonna do something a little bit different. Brighten things up a little bit. But yeah, like I said, I'm just so scared. I'm so scared for my baby. I just don't want anything to happen to him. So we're gonna put a little orangey color on. Okay, that's supposed to be like an orange, but it's more like a, I don't like that. Where's the orange at? Okay. Well, we're gonna put this on too. It's kind of like a highlighter, actually. I think I might put a little bit too much on that side, but that's okay. I do have, this also came from Etsy. This is another blush. It's called Willpower. And all of the packaging and everything is made from recycled products. And of course, it's also recyclable. I think this brush is just a little bit too soft for me to really get the color like I want it. So I'll use this. Okay. You probably can't really see this. Oh, I think you can. This is the color, which is Stamina, honey. Stamina. So when I get off of here with you guys, I'm gonna be taking pictures and sending them to my husband and just showing him how cute I am. So I've been on here for like almost 40 minutes. I don't know if anybody's even gonna sit through one of these and watch it for 40 minutes, but who cares? I don't care anymore. So like I said about 20 minutes ago, my son had I think he had a revelation. Because I was like, look, son, you just going deeper and deeper into a hole. Now, granted, I gave you credit for it being virtual learning. Granted, I give you credit. You might be feeling a little depressed, but you are in the 11th grade. Your next step is to be a senior. Do you want to get kept back in 11th grade? Do you know how that is going to look? Do you know how that is going to feel? It's not going to feel good. It doesn't mean that you still can't do it, that you still can't make it, that even though you get kept back in 11th grade, that next year you'll do it right and the year after that. But why? Why go through that? So as he was talking about some of the things that he needed to do, and he was actually online in class with one of his teachers, she called me. And she was like, you know, I wanted to talk to you about some of Gary's assignments. He has assignments that are missing. He has this that is missing. And I was like, Miss Melissa, I really do appreciate you giving me a call and let me know what's going on. I actually do know that Gary's not passing your class. I had a conversation with another advisor that contacted me. I'm sorry, my sinuses are really kicking. My eyes are red. I don't smoke weed anymore, and so it's not from that. It's really straight up from allergies. You know, I understand that you're trying to help Gary. And I've been trying to help Gary for the past 16 years. And I feel like I'm doing a pretty good job. But we had this conversation maybe 2 months ago. And I did all the things that, you know, a parent would do to try and assist Gary to get him back on the right track. But he's failing even harder now. So, like I said, I appreciate you calling me. I appreciate you trying to keep me informed. But I want to inform you that if Gary wants to pass your class, he's going to have to do it himself. It ain't nothing else. There's nothing else that I can do other than what I've been doing, including praying, that is going to change that. Gary is going to have to make the change on his own. And I'm sorry if that's not what you want to hear, or, you know, that's not what you're expecting to hear, but it's the truth, because I'm tired. I'm tired. Now, if you have some suggestions as to what else I can do or what else can be done, let me know. So she goes in to say, you know, he had an exam that was due, I think, on the 13th of November, and I told him about it. I've sent him emails. He hasn't done it yet. So I'm telling Gary, as she's telling me, and we're looking up into the classes to try to find it. She says, well, it wouldn't be under his classes. It would. And she kind of got a little funky. I was like, well, if it's not in here, where would it be? Where would he be able to find it so he can complete it? And she's like, well, it's in the emails that I sent. I said, oh, okay. So we'll go to his emails. Is there a link that he can click in the emails that will take him to the exam so that he can complete it? And she was like, yes, Miss, you know, it is. And she told me where it was. We found it. And he did it. So when he was finished with all that, and I was done on the phone and everything, I had another conversation with him, and I was like, look, I want you to pull up everything that needs to be completed. He had over 30-something assignments that needed to be completed. That is so embarrassing to me. And it should have been embarrassing to him, and I think it was. Once we pulled through and we scrolled and we saw more and more. And I was like, Gary, you have 5 days off. You need to complete each and every one of these assignments, or you're going to fail. You're going to fail. And you're going to get kept back in 11th grade. And all your friends are going to be going on to be a senior, and they're going to be preparing to graduate and going on class trips, Lord willing, and, you know, moving on with their lives. Do you want to be stuck in 11th grade while everybody else is moving on? Do you want to be the oldest person in high school. No, Mom, I don't. I said, well, we need to devise a plan for you to get these assignments done. Forgot I gotta brush these first. This is also another product that I got from Kohl's that I absolutely, no, I got this from Etsy, because with Etsy, you know how everybody does this, so you can see, and half the time you can't see what it is even still. This is a brow brush. It actually has the brush, and then it actually has the brow liner, I guess you could say. It's kind of like an eyeliner, but it's made for your brows. And then this is the little brush that you brush them with. So I think that's really cute. And I have a bald face when it comes to eyebrows, so I don't have a lot of eyebrow. This is my natural eyebrow over here. This is me adding the brow stick to fill in and kind of shape my eyebrows. So you see the difference? You see how this is all wild and sporadic? And then, but yeah, I told him, you know. And so I was like, you need to finish this. I said, you know what? Because I had already taken his game the other day when Miss Mo, I think that was last Friday, when Miss Mo called. Well, she didn't call, she emailed me and told me that he was failing every class. He was on his way to work. And he had already been complaining about, oh, you know, I wish I had another job and so on and so forth. He had only been there since Monday of last week. I mean, he worked there the whole summer, and Gary had just gotten into a place where he was complacent, and he had become very lazy, very lackadaisical. And he's already has a laid back personality, because he get that from his mom, because I'm pretty laid back. But because of this, it's intensified. And I was like, look, Gary. So I took his game. He had his clothes on. He was ready to go to work. His dad was ready to take him to work. I was like, no, forget that job. Forget that game. Forget that phone. Forget having your friend come over and hang out with you for a little while. Forget all that. Of course, I didn't say forget. I used another word. But I want to try not to be too vulgar, because I know a lot of older women who I respect and love, mainly Miss Lydia, and they are not cursers. And because I want them to watch this, I want to try and respect that, and not, if I can catch it, if I can catch myself. There are gonna be times where I'm not gonna be able to catch myself. And in those times, I just ask that they forget that, because I'm just being me. And even my mom, she watches this, and my mom cusses like a sailor, but I don't want to be cussing like a sailor around her, or when it comes to something that she has to watch. Unless I was in a movie or something, then I had to cuss, and that's something else. But yeah, that's what happened. He showed them to me, and then, like I said, even he was embarrassed at that point. He was embarrassed. Now, for my eyes, I always like to kind of like base it with a lighter color, because my eyes are so dark. I have like panda bear eyes, raccoon eyes, because I think pandas is white around. I don't know. Anyway, raccoon eyes, I'll say. So it's really dark around my eyes. So I always try to put a lighter color on before I put my bold pigments on, or my colored pigmented shadows. And sometimes if I don't really feel like putting on a lot of makeup, I'll just put this on put some lip gloss on, put some mascara on, and I'll go like this. But then there are other times where I want to go all out. I want to get the color popping. I want to get the color banging, which is what I want to do today. So again, that is this color right here, which is called Kensington. I don't have my glasses on, y'all. This color is called Kensington. It's kind of like a nude matte color. It doesn't have like any sparkle or anything in it. Now this one underneath of it, which is look, I have to sound it out in my mind. Piccadilly. It's like just a little bit darker than this one, but it has like metallic shades in it. And this one is like a gold. And this is Notting Hill. And this one is like a bluish green with metallic-y bluish green. And it's called Hyde Park. Anyway. So you have to negotiate with my child, really, in order to get him to want to do certain things. So I negotiated with him. I said, look, if you complete all of those 30-something assignments and you can prove to me that you did it, because I seen what you did do, or what you had to do, and then you can bring that to me and show me that it's done, I'll let you have your game for the Thanksgiving holiday. So you don't have to be in your room with nothing. Can I tell you that I told him that he should allow himself today and tomorrow, and even Thursday if he needs to get it done. Kind of space it out so you're not mentally draining yourself. Can I tell you at about, I want to say at about 5:30, 6 o'clock he came to me. Everything was done. He said to me, you know what, Mom, I'm not going to let that happen again. He said it was so much pressure for me to try to get it done because I wanted to play my game. I did it all today. But as I was going through the assignments, I seen that most of them I had already started and never completed. Some of them I just knew the answer to, and it was so easy for me to complete it. I'm not doing that again. I don't want to have the pressure of trying to complete a whole bunch of stuff at one time. Now, I hope that when he tells me that's really the case. Because, like I said, this ain't the first time we went through to this show. We done been to the show a few times. But I'm going to give my son the benefit of the doubt because he did get it done. He did get it done. So he is playing his game. It's crazy. It's really crazy. And I think it has a lot to do with the pandemic. But anywho, enough about my son, enough about racism, enough about that. Let's talk about the fact that I am back into my vocal lessons. Before I had Gary, when I was like 22, 23, I was really trying to do something with singing. I had vocal lessons 3 times a week. I was being introduced to people who were in music business. I'm not gonna say the industry because this is Wilmington, Delaware we're talking about. So these people are not like people in Los Angeles, Chicago, New York, or anything like that, Atlanta. These are Delaware-based people. Not to say that we can't make it there, but they're just people who, you know, are in the cultural scene of the music industry in our state of Delaware. And I got pregnant with Gary. I mean, I was working 2 jobs. I didn't have any responsibilities. I was doing me. So the 2 things that happened were, hey, you like my hair, guys? I did this myself. Y'all know I do my hair right. Once that lady told me that it was gonna be $160 for her to do crochets. What? The African lady? What? I thought it was gonna be cheaper because you don't have to do as much work. Okay. So I tried it a couple times. The first 2 times I tried it, well, the first time it didn't turn out good. It took me like 4 hours just to get maybe 20 of them in. My braids sucked. But anyway, so that on top of the fact that my cousin pretty much told me that my singing skills were whack, that I couldn't sing, that I wasn't like Beyonce and stuff like that. And I could never understand why he did that. I really couldn't. Because when I tell you he was my best friend, we were best friends. We were so tight that people in our neighborhood, because he lived with us for a few years, people in our neighborhood thought that we were a couple. They thought that my son Gary was his child, was our child. And one of the ladies, as a matter of fact, the same young lady who talked me into getting into the fight with Juicy is the same young lady who lived in our development, in our neighborhood, that my cousin was trying to talk to. And she wouldn't talk to him because she thought that he and I were together. But that's another story. So for years and years and years, I didn't understand why he would do that. I feel like even if you don't think that somebody has the capability to do something, if you really, really love them, you would never discourage them. What you would do is you would tell them, yeah, keep practicing, keep trying, stay with it. Eventually you'll get there. He just was like flat out, I don't know why, you trying to do all this, you can't sing. I mean, he was like flat out with it. And I don't know if I believe that then. I think I allowed myself to believe it because I hadn't reaped anything from all of the work that I have been putting in. And so I started to think, well, maybe it isn't what I needed to do. Yeah, as I got older, and I would say within maybe the past 10 years or so, I just started thinking, and I've seen different stuff and read different things. And I don't think that my cousin really thought that I couldn't sing. I know he really didn't think that. What I think started to happen was that he saw the hard work that I was putting in. He saw the people that I was getting to be around. And I think that he was scared that I was going to actually make it and leave him behind. That's what I really think. And I felt like he felt like that, and he didn't want me to leave him behind. And he didn't know how to just say, because he used to call me Ron Ski. You can't do that. Basically is what he told me. You're not going to make it. You can't sing. Because as I got older, I'm like, well, shit. If Maisie Gray, you try to say goodbye and I choke. If somebody like that can become a star singing like that, and I'm not saying one way or another if I think she sounds bad. I don't think she sounds bad. I just think she sounds different. She's not the conventional singer. She's not the Beyonce or the Whitney Houston. But everybody can't be Beyonce and Whitney Houston. Everybody shouldn't try to be Beyonce and Whitney Houston. I'm more of a take me to heart and I'll always love you and nobody can make me do wrong. Take me for granted, leaving love unsure. Makes willpower weak and temptation strong. A woman's only human, this you should understand. She's not just a plaything, she's flesh and blood, just like a man. And if you wanna do right, all days, woman, you've gotta be a do-right all night man. So I'm more of that kind of singer. I feel like I have a soulful, deep, sultry singing voice. A little raspy, a little jazzy. And I'm good with that. Because I know it's people out here who are making millions of dollars for record companies who probably can't do that. And honey, if you get me into a studio and tune some stuff up, what? So I no longer believe that. I no longer believe that. I believe that anybody can do anything they want to do at any age, at any time in their life. And I think that another thing is at that time in my life, I just wasn't ready for what came with what I was trying to do. Yeah, but I can't believe I begged God. I was like, take this feeling away from me. Take this longing to have this be a part of my life. Take it away from me. I don't want it anymore. And so that's kind of what happened. And so I started trying to fulfill other things. I started trying to do other things to fulfill that need that I had to sing and perform. But I was never really able to, I haven't gotten any. I'm not going to say never. Because just because I want to sing doesn't mean I don't want to do other things too. Because I do. I still want to do other things. I still want to act. I still want to have my own talk show. And I still am going to sing. And I don't care if I just sing in clubs, jazz bars. I don't care. I just want to be heard. I want my voice to be heard. I want to use my voice for what God intended it to be used for. And that is to speak up for people, to help people, and to sing. And I'm going to do that. And I don't care if I'm 80 years old getting up on somebody's stage singing. And they're like, what is this old ass woman doing up here trying to sing or singing? Because I ain't going to try. I'm not trying anymore. I'm singing. And I do believe that something great will come of it. And in some way, I will be able to live out my dreams of singing, of just being an entertainer, period. Because you don't just, there's a wide range when it comes to entertainment. So during this COVID era, and being as though I don't have a regular 9-to-5 job, you guys, I'm so blessed. I am my mother's caretaker. You see them eyes, honey? Them eyes is popped it yap yap yap. Them eyes is popped it dopping. Oh, I'm gonna try this little shimmer. Now this shimmer one, This is from Etsy as well. I don't know if you can see. Oop, that's right in the light. Just give me the light. I'm gonna try to put some of this on. This little stuff is a little hard to get on like I like it with a brush. So I have to use my fingers. And I'm gonna try with my brush to get it on my underbrow. I mean my underlash, not my underbrow. I really need a thinner brush. So I need to buy some more brushes. Like I said, I used to have a whole lot more makeup and makeup accessories and oh God. Oh, now my eyes gonna be even redder. But I don't have as much, even though to some people it might look like I have a lot in my bag. Some people might not look like I have enough in there. But I'm definitely trying to get my thing back. I threw away a lot of makeup because like I said, I wasn't really wearing it, and I'm the type of person, once it gets to be a little bit too much in the house, laying around and in different spots and stuff like that, it's time, in my eyes, it's time for it to go. So I did get rid of quite a bit of stuff. Now I got sparkles, because this last shadow that I put on actually has a lot of sparkles, like big juicy sparkles in it. Okay, so I'm gonna put my eyeliner on. And this eyeliner is called Lottie. Lottie, you probably can't really see it. Lottie AM PM. AM to PM, honey. Now I like to take, you couldn't see this, but I use a piece of paper towel, almost like you would if you were painting, to get excess makeup off. But I also use it to kind of sharpen my eyeliner pencil, because you see how it's kind of dull, it doesn't have any real point. So I just kind of twirl it around, get some of the excess old makeup off of it, try to get a little point on there. I don't know if you can see it now. It's a little pointy, you probably can't see it, but it's okay. I can see it. Take me to heart, and I'll always love you, and nobody can make me do wrong. Take me for granted, leaving love unsure. Oh, you heard that? That's where practice comes in. Makes willpower weak and temptation strong. And I am practicing every day. Woman's only human. This you should understand. She's not just a plaything. She's flesh and blood, just like a man. And if you wanna do right, whole days, woman, woman, you gotta be a do-right all night man. Yeah. They say that it's a man's world, but you can't prove that by me, no. And as long as we're together, I suggest you show a little respect for me. So if you wanna do right, all days, woman, you gotta be a do right all night, man. So I'm singing this song over and over again, not because it's the only song that I can sing or the only song I sound good at. It's just because this is the song that I'm practicing with. So it's going to be the song that I'm going to be singing for quite some time until we move on to the next, which I don't know what the next song is going to be that we work on, but I know I'm going to perfect this one. And then when the next one comes, I'm going to perfect that one. But I just want you guys to see that, yes, I can sing. And I love to sing. And sometimes when I'm singing, my voice cracks. It goes a little down when it's supposed to go a little up. Sometimes you get a little rasp in there, a little, you know. That comes from just my natural tone. But it also comes from smoking. It also comes from smoking. I smoked for many years. I smoked cigarettes from the age of 21 to the age of 30 something, for like 12 years. Isn't that dumb? I waited until I turned 21 to start smoking cigarettes just because I was grown. I've been smoking marijuana since I was 18. But back then, when I was 18, I didn't know where to go to get it. I didn't, Did you see that mosquito? I don't know what the heck is going on in here, but the mosquitoes are on attack, and I hope that I'm smashing it somehow, somewhere, if it's on me. The mosquitoes are outrageous, y'all. Oh, it's on the other side of the camera now. That's good. But they are straight up getting on my nerves. Child, there's more mosquitoes in here now than it was in the summertime. If y'all looking for a place to stay, y'all need to go find a motel or something, because you can't keep staying up in here. I done killed 3 mosquitoes today. Okay, y'all. Okay. Now, I don't know what color. I'm gonna let this, dry for a minute on my eye. I don't know what color I'm gonna wear on that day, but I got some really nice colors. I got this liquid. Now, when you put it on, it's like clear, but like metallic-y. So I would use this to put on top of something, or if you kind of want a nude lip, to just put some of your favorite chapstick on, or lip balm, and then put this over top of, just to give it a nice little metallic-y color finish. I have been wearing some pink lip gloss. I was wearing like this. Well, this is not pink, but this purple. And I tried this one time. It's really pretty. But this one, it's really like fuchsia, and I had tried, that on top of there. And then I have this kind, which is made by the same people. I got all these from Kohl's, y'all. Kohl's. I think I paid like $4 for this one. I think I paid like $3 for this one. Clearance, y'all. And these are some really nice brands. I got this from Julep. It's like it's a cosmetic. You get a lot of like skincare and stuff like that. Like I have a rose oil that I use on my skin because I told y'all it gets dry. I have moisturizing cream, which at first I didn't like because it had like I had to get used to the smell, but it's so good for my skin. I'm telling you, I bought two of them. I bought one, and I found the first one I bought along with the rose oil I got off of Deals and Steals on Good Morning America. Be watching out for that, y'all. Deals and Steals. Because I paid half price for the cream. You know what? I'm sorry, I'm distracted by the mosquito. Anyway, I don't know. And this is the color of this one. It's very pretty. But very light and very sheer. So I want something that's going to really pop. Now, this I love. Now, it might be... If he come back over here, y'all, I'm telling you. Then I got this cashmere. Pay like $3 for this. It's so pretty. It's so light. Now that's very pretty. Don't worry, I got my little handy dandy little wipes for my face, so I can take some stuff off if I need to. And they thick and good too. So I'm gonna take that off because that's not really what I want to wear. This right here is so pretty, and it's definitely eye-catching color, and it feels so good. And you talking about metallic-y? And it kind of like stays. It's kind of like a color stay type of lip gloss. It really is. It's really pretty, but not what I want to wear today. So my hair, I can take it off before it gets too hard to take off. Okay, y'all. I think this is the one I'm going to wear though. I also got this from Kohl's. I really like this because I like the dark, really deep colors. And this is actually a lipstick. It's a lip cream. And it's made by NYX. It's matte. NYX. I don't know if y'all can see that, but it's a lip cream. And the color is Copenhagen. Okay, I'm Copenhagen. So I think that mosquito already got me. That's why his ass moved and didn't come back. Put a little bit of this on top. And then put a little bit of this in the center. The cashmere cream. And then, you know, just move my hair around a little bit to the side, or maybe put it up. I might not even have my hair like this when I go to do the photo shoot. I think I just heard my son say, "Oh shit," because boy, sometimes I catch him in there cussing his behind off, and I have to go in there and be like, "Yo, come on now, you ain't even 18 yet." And every now and then I let it go because I know that he's playing. I know when I was young and on the phone, I might say slip up with an "oh shit" or a "god damn it" or something like that. And I'm sure my mom heard me sometimes, and then sometimes I'm sure when she heard me, she like, oh no, 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 no. You're not grown yet. I'll let it slide sometimes, but not today. Okay. So I'm gonna get a little closer so you can see my eyes and you can see my cheeks and you can see my lips. All right, so this was a long one. I don't know who's, like I said, who's gonna really sit and look at this whole thing. So some of y'all might start looking at it, and I did get bit by a mosquito right here and right here, that same mosquito. Some of you might not even make it that far to see the finished product. Oh, wait. Where's my mascara? I told you I was gonna try a new mascara, y'all. And this is called Rock Out by Eyeko. Rock Out, Lash Out. So we're gonna try some of this Rock Out. Ooh, okay. I don't know why I hold my mouth open when I put my mascara on. Sometimes I'm lucky enough to find mascara that really makes my lashes look really good. And then sometimes I find some that's just kind of like, you know, basic. My eyelashes still look pretty much the same to me. My husband brought me home a sample of this mascara one time. It was made in, I don't know, Egypt or something like that. Somewhere in the Middle East or in Africa or somewhere. Oh my gosh. It was like putting on fake lashes every time I put it on. I loved it. But it was only a sample. And what I should have done, but didn't think about it until later on, was I should have kept the container and looked it up to see if I could buy some more. Because I did. I absolutely loved it. It was the bomb. Did I do that, y'all? Did I do it? It took me an hour because I was talking, but did I do that? Look at them lashes, y'all. Popping, popping, popping. Yeah. That mosquito, I'm telling you, when I'm done with y'all, I'm going to hunt that thing down. I'm going to be the mosquito hunter. So as you can see, the makeup did pretty good. Covered up my blemishes pretty good. Yes, I got a lot of shimmer. Perfect tone, but the makeup had a perfect tone. So I have to remember I used BH Cosmetics BH Liquid Foundation, Natural Flawless. And this color is Deep Beige, so I use this one. And then I use the e.l.f. one to mix with it. I used this one. So I use these two, I mix them. I use a little bit more of this and just a little dot of this. And this one has a satiny finish. This one has a flawless finish. And this one, believe it or not, is just called chocolate. So I'm very proud of my talk with you guys today. I feel pretty good. Whoever gets to listen to it or whoever listens to it does, and that's great. Whoever doesn't, it's okay. And guess what, y'all? I buy the cheap stuff too. I buy the cheap stuff too. Look at this. Look at this. Ain't that cute? Guess who it's made by? You can't really see it because it's in white, but it's made by Wet n Wild. Wet n Wild. Ain't that cute? Look. That is so cute. I didn't put it on this time, but it's so pretty. Girl, almost like this. I'm in love with these type of colors. I think they just look good on me. Oh, and this little thing right here, this little thing, this is ink, like incredible, like incredible, but it's incredible. Now you see how I have like a nice dry matte look. Before I leave, I'm just gonna look at this little roller ball. It's like the silver ball. Girl. It just feels so good. Ugh. It just feels so good. It's so smooth and velvety on your lips. Now, I'm not a makeup stylist or a makeup artist or hairstylist. I'm just a black woman who tries to do the best that she can do with what she has in order to not spend a whole bunch of money, because I got other responsibilities and I don't make a lot of money. So there you go with that. Again, I use Naked Cosmetics. I use some of this on my eyes. I use actually all three colors on my eyes. You probably can't tell, but I did. And again, I used Butter London. I used all of these colors. I used this one especially to contour. I used it also as like, let me cover that up. I used it also as like a concealer under my eyes and on my eyelids. I have this bluish greenish color in the corners of my eyes. You might can't really see it, but up in here. The gold I used down here. This gold I used up here under the brow. I used the cashmere cream on top of the soft matte, and the color is, what did I say it was? Copenhagen. Yes, y'all, Copenhagen, honey. I've been behaving with Copenhagen. So I thank y'all for listening to me about what I have going on with my child and how we're doing in this COVID time. I'm really proud that he stepped up to the plate, even if it was just because he wanted to play his game. You gotta get it where you can get it, because he got it done. And he also learned that that's not something he wants to do all the time. He does not want to be in a position where he has to hurry up and do a whole bunch of work at the end. Yeah, stop putting things off to the end. I did that shit all my life, pretty much. And there are a lot of things that I could have done and gotten taken care of way before I did if I would have just went on ahead and did it in that moment. But I didn't, because I wanted to wait around. I wanted to, you know, play around. I wanted to do whatever. Or I just was too lazy to go ahead and just do it right and get it done the first time. I thank y'all for listening to me about almost getting my behind kicked when I was in middle school, but overcoming it and being able to be a woman about it when I did have the opportunity to run into that person again and let them know that, you know, I was wrong, because a lot of people don't know how to do that. I mean, we have to learn how to admit when we're wrong. I did a podcast about admitting when you're wrong, because I acted like a complete butt to some of my guests that came to my birthday. At least I felt like that. Maybe they didn't, but once I listened to the podcast and ran it back, and it was horrible. It sounded horrible. I was never able to get the sound quality like I wanted it, so I never even sent it to them. But I did send the admitting when you're wrong. I had put this on. This is Ellie Eden. This was what I had put on my face, and I was saying, oh, it's almost white. It's supposed to be like orange, but it came out like almost white. Anyway, it worked out because it looks good. So I've wiped all my dry brushes off. This liquid foundation brush, I'm gonna have to go and put some Dawn on it, some hot water, and clean it off. I also used this in the corners of my eyes to kind of make them pop. And this is something that came in one of my Etsy containers. As you can see, it's a lot of glitter in there. I think I put everything away. Up. This is facial moisturizer. I'll put that in there too. But don't forget to also go to Julep and look them up if you have any issues with dry skin. Get the Hydro Boost cream and the rose hip oil. I'm telling you. And then the facial cream. I got the creamy facial cleanser. The bomb. Don't forget to look at Steals and Deals on Good Morning America, because they have a lot of steals and deals on there. I will say, because it was the beginning of the pandemic, that it took a long time the first time I ordered from them to get my stuff back. But the second time I ordered my facial cream, I just got the cream, the hydrating cream. It came in like 6 days. Yeah, that mosquito got me good. What else was I gonna say? I don't know. But I wish you all the best. I'm praying for everybody during these times. I really like my makeup. I love my nose. I love my nose. A lot of people probably would say that I have a large nose. I think it's the perfect size. I love it. I love how it's a little broad on my face. My eyes are crazy though. One eye is a little lazy, and I'm gonna tell you why. It's this eye. When I was 7 years old, I was in gym real quick, got hit in the eye with a baseball coming full force. I think it was a softball, but same damn difference when it hit you in the eye. And I remember being a little kid and the doctor saying, you know, she may end up with a lazy eye. Now, I didn't think about this until I got older, but he did say that, and he said I would have to do some therapy for my eye to maintain the muscle. And my mom, for whatever reason, I didn't go and get do that or get that done. So I have a lazy eye now. I don't care because I still look good. I love the way I look most days. Some days I can't stand the way I look, but I still love me. And I'm just proud of myself. I'm proud of where I am right now. I'm proud of being able to come on here and talk to you and share what's been going on with me. And I'm proud of you guys too. And I will have to do this more and more often. So I love you guys. I want you to stay blessed. I want you to please comment if you have any comments, especially if they're good. Now, if they're bad, you can really keep it to yourself. My mom always said, if you ain't got nothing good to say, you know the rest. Bye, guys.